And so that was the scene last night. LeBron James recording his 133rd career playoff game with a 20-point double-double, the most by any active player by a wide margin. You see Jokic is next at 68. Here's LeBron on continuing to prove himself.
There's nothing I need to show, in this league, as far as like, okay, well, I want to show people I can do this, or show myself I can do this. I've done it all. I've seen it all. So, just being able to compete and trying to win championships, I think that's a motivating factor. It's always been, since I've probably first time I touched the postseason in 06. I was like, how can I compete for a championship?
Okay, so let's get out of the way all of the obvious things. Of course, he has nothing left to prove. He's one of the most accomplished players, if not the most, in the history of the sport. And in some people's opinion, he's the greatest player ever. And certainly no one has ever played at the level that he has at this age. So let's put all that aside. That doesn't even need to be discussed. Big Perk, I'm going to ask you the question right now. If LeBron James' number one priority and goal is to try and win one more championship before it's all said and done, where should he play next season?
If it's about championships, then I would consider going home, back to Cleveland.
Yep.
When you think about the pieces that they have, being in the Eastern Conference, getting out of a tough Western Conference, I would go back to the crib.
You think the Cavs would do it? You think the Cavs can make that work?
I don't know. I don't know. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden already been advocating that to the front office and Dan Gilbert.
Yep.
Once James Harden got there, they want LeBron James back in Cleveland.
There's no better final chapter in the LeBron James farewell tour than coming back to Cleveland, what that would do for the league and what that would do in the Eastern Conference. Now, let's be honest, it's up for grabs.
Yep.
There's no dominant team in the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. The Knicks are playing well right now. They probably get out this year considering what's going to happen with Cleveland and Detroit, but that's the move.
You like it? I mean, is it realistic? Could you see it happening?
Yeah, you could see it happening, but I'm not sure if the Cavs have, this is dollars and cents too, y'all. This is not just slot LeBron in and like it was 2014 and then you get to the finals, even though their roster is clearly much better than what it was then. You got to have the cap space to figure that stuff out. And LeBron has to be willing to take a pretty significant pay cut to fit in there.
I guarantee you he would take Jared Allen money. So, and I'm pretty sure that Luka would love a lob threat like Jared Allen. If the Lakers don't want LeBron James, and you're looking for a big, because obviously DeAndre Ayton shouldn't be back, right? What he displayed.
And what made Luka so great in Dallas, he constantly had a lob threat.
So if you could package up in some kind of way, I don't know how signing trades do. I'm not that type of insider. Damn, I get up here and talk my noise and watch the game, okay? But if you could sign and trade and you could get LeBron for Jared Allen, Cleveland doing it and the Lakers doing it.
Okay, so that was going to be my second question. The Lakers now get their chance to build in earnest around Luka Doncic. That's their plan. That's the horse they've hitched their wagon to, and that's where they're going to go. Mm-hmm. What do they need to do? What do they need to do this offseason, regardless of whether LeBron is there or not? What do they need to do to have a chance to be playing at this time and deeper than this next year?
They need to go find them a Robin, because Austin Reeves ain't it. Now, isn't it? Ain't it?
Got it.
He's not it. And he got exposed this postseason. Do you know that it was his first time this postseason that he scored over 25 points in his postseason career? That's saying a lot. And the Thunder, Jay, it was tasting him.
Barbecue chicken.
They was tasting him this series. A.J. Mitchell was looking for him, cooking him.
Possession, man.
I think at one point it was like 58 possessions he was scored on throughout these last, and it might be more. Your two, Luka's already a defensive lineman.
Right.
You can't have two.
You cannot have two.
I think you have to construct the roster the way it was built in Dallas, where you have 3 and D guys, you have lob threats at the rim.
But can you go find that Kyrie?
You're going to have to find somebody.
So what you're saying is Austin Reeves can't be that, because Kyrie
I don't think Austin Reeves
was the number 2 guy there. He isn't Gary Payton on
Brunson.
defense.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Look. The thing is this: if the Lakers commit $30 million to Austin Reeves this summer, and they let LeBron go, they could have up to $70 million in cap space in the summer of 2027 for the next superstar. Maybe Austin Reeves isn't your number 2. Maybe he's your number 3. There's always going to be the next superstar.
But see, you're not talking to a fan. You're talking to one of the most historic franchises in sports.
Right.
This fan base is just like the Celtic fan base. It's about championships. They're not trying to hear about what could happen the previous year. No, they want to know what's going to happen.
Wait, hold on, Park. Last I checked, they rolled out the final years of Kobe Bryant. They rolled out a couple years after that, and then LeBron landed in their lap. They had years in the wilderness, did they not?
That doesn't mean that they were happy. That's what I'm explaining.
They have Luka Doncic. It's not like they have nobody.
I hear you, but you know how it is when you're in New York, you're in L.A., or you're in Boston.
I don't even want to know why New York is in that conversation.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you know what, for this, if you have a superstar like Luka that's top 5 in the game, how long does that window last?
I have
you
an
gotta
idea
go for
for
it
you.
each and every year.
I have an idea for all of you. Let's talk about another superstar. Let's talk about the Giannis trade market because it is officially open for business. Shams is reporting the Bucks will be taking trade calls and trade offers for the 2-time MVP. This news coming less than a week after co-owner Jimmy Haslam said he wanted a resolution before the draft. The Bucks will be asking for a young blue chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks. The time where this might happen is officially now, because the lottery has taken place, so we know what all these draft picks actually are going into this year. You were the one who brought up the idea of Jaylen Brown on this show 2 weeks ago, picked up a lot of steam. I saw the conversations sort of go everywhere because it might make a lot of sense. We've had a week to sort of sleep on that. What are you thinking right now as far as Giannis?
If I was Boston, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Jaylen Brown for Giannis.
I would do that, yes. But also, you got to understand, there's new ownership in Milwaukee.
Right.
And that guy is Jimmy Haslam. And Jimmy Haslam and Giannis have a different type of relationship than what he had with a guy like Mark Lasry that exited the team for a massive valuation. I think something similar is going to happen that we saw with the Cleveland Browns. Remember when Myles Garrett was like, I want to get out of town? What did Jimmy Haslam do? He threw a boatload of money in front of him. And Myles Garrett, where's Myles Garrett right now?
He stayed in Cleveland.
He stayed in Cleveland.
So you're saying you think Giannis stays in Milwaukee?
I'm not saying that. I am going to say it's going to come down to Giannis got to put his money where his mouth is, and he's got to turn down a massive amount of money. Because I think a lot of this is smoke and mirrors right now by the Bucks, saying they want to trade him, but hoping that they can keep him.
What do you think, Big Bird?
Well, he the one that initiated.
That's what I'm saying. He has to pull the trigger.
Right, but he said that he wanted to have a meeting with Giannis. This is the first time that we've heard publicly without insiders reporting. He came out and said he want to have a meeting and give Giannis basically and say, hey, look, what do you want to do? I want this resolved right now. So the fact that they're taking calls tells me that Giannis won out and it's time for the Bucks to move on. I understand you could give Giannis a whole lot of money, but they still don't have a championship roster.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to Milwaukee. Nobody wants to go.
Where do you want to see
Brown.
Giannis? Well, what do you want to see happen with Giannis?
I want to see Giannis in Boston.
That's what I said before.
I mean, I want to see him with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo means NBA championship. With all this that's been transpiring over the last few weeks with Jaylen Brown being vocal and all that stuff, and he could come out publicly and say him and Brad is cool. No, it's some feathers that's been ruffled over there. It's some things that was said on that stream that if I'm Jason Tatum, I feel some type of way. I'm gonna tell you this, Greeny.
Go.
He'll come on and they'll try to, make all the social media posts that they want. I watch everything. I watch you every morning. I watch y'all when y'all on TV, and I watch everything else in the sports world. Jaylen Brown has been begging. He has been telling his fan base on his streaming platform that because they've been asking all season long, hey, man, when is Tatum coming? When is Tatum coming? Tatum has yet to show up. He's been on everybody else's platform, including First Take, but he hasn't been there on Jaylen Brown. And for him to come out, last but not least, and say this was his, most exciting or best year?
Career?
Yeah, man, that shot's fired. That shot's fired.
Let me ask you guys questions. Giannis, before this season Giannis played 36 games. The last 5 seasons before that, Giannis averaged 65 games with an assortment of injuries that does not bode well for a player who will turn 32. Jason Tatum is coming off of an Achilles. Can you build realistically a championship contender around your best 2 players who are health concerns.
I would say I think Giannis, even though he wanted to play, I think there's a lot of internal issues about the Bucks.
That's why I said
trying
this
to protect him this year and not letting him play.
That's why I said take this year
He
out.
wanted
You
to
take this
play.
year out.
At the end of the day, I
The
think
5 years before that, the number was 65
The question you're asking
games.
is, has Giannis entered a stage of his career where he's always going to be hurt?
No.
You're not worried about it?
No, I'm not worried about it one bit.
So him missing playoff games.
You tell me a better opportunity to get a star player in Milwaukee and get something in return.
I'm
for
talking about the
Boston.
Boston side of it. I'm talking about
I know
am I
what
trading
you're talking
Jaylen
about.
Brown
I know
for
you're talking
Giannis?
about. Saying both.
Yes,
You are both
yes, I
Boston
am.
Yes.
We're talking about, to me, right now, Giannis is already, arguably, the second greatest power forward right behind Tim Duncan.
Right.
Right now, you're talking about a generational talent of one of the most dominant players to ever play the damn game of basketball. Greeny, he has at least 3 years of this Giannis that we've been seeing of late between the lines. Brad Stevens, damn it, pick up that phone and call Milwaukee.
That will be fascinating to watch. And I also have just received note that we have heard this morning from the great one. Stephen A. Smith is watching. Steve has written this on Twitter. This is an incredibly proud moment to watch on Get Up this morning. To see Vince Goodwill and Real J. Williams dressed so impeccably brings a tear to my eyes. I would say the same about Big Perk, but where the hell is the tie? Finally, Greeny, they've come dressed to impress. Again, so proud, so proud. Big Perk.
Well, you know what they tell me at my church, Pastor Keon, Lighthouse Baptist.